Back in the day, J-Kid was the man, boy. Put the team on his back like a jam sport. D-Lo with the dribble, drive in on pick and roll, full contact. This is a man sport. County of Kings, really the Kingsborough. You know Crown Heights, so you know that sound right. Brooklyn Bridges, Z-Dub defended. The Brooklyn Block Party, clacks and double digits. Got the ball plays clicking, the whole block is with it. Left a lot on the table, now we coming to get it. The shook one's gone, we two Brooklyn strong. Can't stop, won't stop from the Brooklyn block. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N, 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 B-R-O-O-K, we well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well.
Just give me the ball, I'm fitting to score next. My J's all net, me and Jay just all nets. Get it back on defense, hit him with strong flex. I'm official like a ref, trying not to get attacked. And we go hard on Brooklyn, that's a promise. Watch me like a can, cause it's my time. Nigga, watch me like a can, cause it's my time. Switch, they can't guard me, especially side the Barclays. It's been between crosses, I can score with both hands. Midi flawless, and I get to paint like an artist. I'm a boss smith, so you should respect my handle. I see the big picture with the Nets like a mantle. In the future, I see us as champs too. And when we do, I'ma do a Brooklyn dance move. The stir that or Millie rock like a FanDuel. And that's a bet like my parlay on FanDuel.
B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N, B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N,
When you establish a culture, that's what you do every day. That creates one thing that is your identity. Alright, that's how you are seen by other people. If you work really hard, get 1% better every day, you're a competitive group. That means that you fight.
Oh, what a move by Sharp, counting the foul.
Yo, it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Back at it again. Once again, it's on. I'm out here chilling with Iceman, chilling with Leaf. And you know what I'm saying? We talking Brooklyn Nets basketball. You know what I mean? We're going to get into the Precap for the last game of the season. We're going to talk about the Mikal Bridges trade, of course. Player's choice. Me and Leaf was on there. So we're going to look at some of that. Going to get into the PCL debates. We got a good night for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Got Rasheer Fleming. We're going to talk about him picking up a lot of motion with the Nets fan base. I want to talk about it. I want to see what's going on, you know what I mean? See what's happening, you know what I mean? So we out here. Shout out to J1 here, Knicks fan. He says, salute, Breezy, salute, Leaf, and Ice. Shout out to A-Tracks D-Wayne. He said, what up, fellas? Shout out to BC, always repping his Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Subscribe to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Once again, subscribe to Leaf 4788. Subscribe to Iceman, the Eskimo, you know what I'm saying? The Tip Office of Brooklyn Nets podcast. We out here, man. Tap the like button. Yeah, man. I just want to start with the hilarity of the Mikal Bridges trade because, you know, this is the last game of the season. And when we look at the trade and what it meant for the Knicks and what it meant for the Brooklyn Nets, in a draft like this, it means the Nets pretty much in a good situation. You know what I mean? We got, a situation where it's a win-win situation for us. We didn't want Mikal Bridges, and we surprised we got everything we got for Mikal Bridges. That being said, when you look at the success the Knicks had contributed to Mikal Bridges, I mean, I guess there is some, but enough for me to be confident that it's going to take them to the promised land. I mean, the championship, no. I think the Nets will eventually win the trade, especially if the player we draft turns out to be better than Mikal Bridges. I like that conversation. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Nets fans gonna have their day. You can't just basketball gods. They see us. I mean, if the God knows that we want the fans in Brooklyn want the best for the Brooklyn Nets, or the Brooklyn Nets fans want the best for the Brooklyn Nets, and we're gonna have a time. It's gonna be our day. You know what I mean? And Knicks fans ain't gonna be able to stop it. The Knicks not gonna be able to stop it. Mikal Bridges is not gonna be able to stop it. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So I just feel like going into this last game, and it's got nothing to do. This long soliloquy got nothing to do with the bet I got with T-Tom for my $5. But I thought I add and mention that I am serious about my $5. Now, that being said, regardless of the $5, I want the Brooklyn Nets to win. If I knew the circumstances was going to be so, I probably wouldn't have made the bet. I imagine Cam Thomas would have been in every one of these contests. You know what I'm saying? But it seems to be Maxwell Lewis and others. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be long winded. Shout to Leaf, shout to Ice. We gonna go to Leaf. I just want to kick it to Leaf real quick about player's choice. Because I seen some of it. Last I heard, you was talking about Garland and whether or not he's gonna be good in the playoffs. What was you saying on player's choice? I'll get to the clip and then we can recap what you said. But go ahead, Leaf. Shout your channel out too. Put it in the chat.
Yeah, I was basically talking about because the title of the show has said Darius Garland, so I was just alluding to that. Um, just going forward, Cleveland, I don't know about that many other Net fans, bro, but I listen. I'm putting at least 2 cents in anything that Cleveland is doing because our center and our head coach, bro, who was supposed to be our center and our head coach, they ain't asked to be traded. They ain't asked out. They didn't ask for any subs or while they was in the organization. They played their asses off, and I'm talking about Jared Allen and Kenny Atkinson. I mean, I still got a lot of respect for what they doing, and I'm going into that, man, because they played it and they showed promise when they was here. Both of them, coach and player. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them and everything that they doing. I'm not promoting the Cleveland Cavaliers at all, but I mean definitely shout out to what they doing. But specifically with Darius Garland is that he gonna have to have some games where he show out incredibly in his playoffs. Defensively, he's probably gonna be the most negative, the most hunted, and probably in every series. Specifically when they get further and further. The first round, bro, probably gonna be a breeze. They probably might play Atlanta. Atlanta might get a game off of them. I say maybe one. If they end up playing Chicago, who knows? They could probably get them in four. But Cleveland, Darius Garland, he's gonna have to be the X factor going forward with this team, as well as Jared Allen can't hit. Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell too, right?
yeah. Spider, I mean, we already know Spider gonna show up, and Spider then had plenty of playoff performances, bro. Even back in Utah. The only issue is that like he didn't really have the unit that he has today. I mean, the unit that he got today, you include
Hold on.
they bench and they shooters and everything that they got, bro. Like they got a good team. So I mean,
Yeah,
I no longer give a shit what's happening in the Western Conference. I no longer care.
yeah. Hold on. I
Because
want to get to the. I want to get to the. Hold on, Leaf. I want to get to the content. I want to have Ice, and then you recap what I said because Easy was in the chat. Always Easy be trying to troll my handle, acting like big fan. Breezy don't be stowing basketball knowledge upon thy fans. Anyways, Easy was in the chat like, yo, you crashed the whip. I'm like, I crashed the whip. How I crashed the whip? You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get to the content and we gonna see if I maneuvered that thing. You know what I'm saying? Swerved it. Or we gonna see if I crashed the whip. We gonna see what's up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let y'all decide. You know what I mean? If that's what it is. Shout to Ray LM. I sent you the link, Ray LM. Let's see. Yeah, here you go.
Is against the better teams in the league, odds. I'm not Houston. I take that back. It's just Oklahoma City, the Cavs, and the Celtics. 0-10,
So,
odds.
well, that's not a good look at all. That's I see a very bad look. Excuse me, y'all. Let me let's get to the
and also he said I was hating on the Knicks in the chat. I don't like that stain on my jacket. You know, I don't think that's what it was. I think more what it is heavy emphasis and critique on the team opposed to such a nasty word like that, like the one Easy called me. Shout to Mo BZ in the chat. Shout to Peoples in the chat. Shout to Apartment Gamer and more in the chat. The chat is lit. The panel lit. We want to get to this content. We want to hear what the chat feel about the content as well. So tap in. Let's just get to it.
lobby. Let's see what the people got to say about Darius Garland turning the lights off and, whatever else they got. Breezy, what's going on, fam?
What up?
I'm chilling, man. I'll be quick. I know I know Chill always chill with Big Ox. Chill, you chilling with a villain right now. Now I gotta say that for the Knicks to do everything they did to get Mikal and OG and Cat, they not living up to it. And that's not just in the win column. They changed their whole identity. And I've seen Mikal Bridges miss he fumbled the ball in the corner versus Boston, and then where was he last night? You know what I'm saying? And it's just fun to see. It's not awful to see. It's fun to see. You know what I mean? I think Detroit beats them in that first round in 6. And I say in 6, Chill, because I don't think it goes back to MSG. I think once Detroit, I think they beat the Knicks 3-1. So I know y'all just said, versus the toughest teams, they were 0-10, but they lost to the Pistons 3-1 this season. So I thought that was interesting. But what I really came up here, besides to troll them, I wanted to ask Chill this because I thought this was interesting. Now, Jordy Fernandez, as you know, was a assistant coach with Mike Malone from 2016 to 2022. He just missed out on an NBA championship, and then he went to the Kings. Of course, Hawks knows that. And my thing is, they calling Derek Queen the Black Jokic. I don't know if you heard that. He's a play out of. Yeah, maybe that's a stretch. But I'm saying that to say with Jordy Fernandez getting Zach Edey in the national game, that's the one thing he did when he took over for Nick Nurse. He got Zach Edey. And then the next thing and also you seen him play with Sabonis with Sacramento. Yep. So my question to you is, do you think that the Brooklyn Nets should focus on a big man for the draft, or maybe not?
I wouldn't be surprised, considering, one, you go with what you know, Breezy. What I mean when I say that is he coached with Mike Malone, so it worked with it worked with Joker, and then he was in Sacramento with Sabonis. That's the archetype. Okay, I want to build my unit around a player like that. So that's what I'm the most comfortable with. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jordy Fernandez kind of got that kind of player, a big man that I can run my offense through, an exceptional passer, a guy who can score in the box, a guy who can also knock down a mid-range shot, who's great in transition. I think that him knowing that, he can build his offense around a guy like that, and he can just be successful. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yo, thank you, Chill.
Absolutely.
Yo, I love the show. Y'all know I'm in the chat. I love the show. Thank you, man. Later, y'all.
Brother, no doubt.
All right, buddy.
You kind of stick to you've coached before. You kind of stick if you got a point guard that's a speedy point guard.
All right, so Ice, how you feel about what I said?
It was fine.
You want me? I think you want me. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, you
I
get
think your mic is low.
Hold up. Right, let me get right. Yo.
Yeah. It's getting high.
All right. Right there. All right. Yeah.
Mm,
So I thought it was cool. It was a good question because there's a reason. I'm gonna go back to it because Leaf talked about it too as well on my podcast, Brooklyn Nets tip off of Brooklyn Nets podcast about Ben Simmons. And when
yeah.
you got a guy like Ben Simmons who can pass, that's why Jordy said that he will be a key piece because those are the type of players that he likes. Sabonis, you named, and you say he played with Mike Malone. Those type of big men who can push the pace, get to the cup, throw those little bounce passes. You see, that's the type of archetype of player he like. And Queen does do things like that. I'm not sure about his defense, but as far as offensively, he fits that mold of that type of player. So I thought that was a good question.
Okay. Um. All right. Cool. Leaf. What you thought about what I said? You heard me mention Zach Eady, so I don't want to hear no shit from you, Leaf. I watched that playback yesterday. That shit was hilarious, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man. But go
I
ahead,
didn't.
Leaf.
I didn't. I did watch that playback too, and I watched the playbacks that you told me to watch, and I didn't get a definitive yes on none of the niggas that I named. Still, I got people
Yo,
pondering the thought, but I didn't get a definitive yes or definitive no. So I still stuck to my point. So I was valid in all of those. But to get to your point, about what you saying about Derek Queen, yeah, as far as them niggas calling them the Black Yokers, that's probably what Easy was probably throwing a fit about in the chat. I seen him in the chat, but I was dealing with my own shit. Having said all of that, I think Derek Queen to Jordy Fernandez. I mean, obviously Jordy Fernandez been around some pretty skilled bigs. Obviously Joker, obviously Sabonis,
Zach.
obviously Zach Edey. Just in terms of like what they do and what skill sets
Running
they
the
bring.
offense, specifically running the offense through that
Yeah,
play. And again, the significance of me asking that is knowing that Jordy Fernandez asked the team to take a lot of 3 pointers. It'd be
right.
nice to see somebody run the offense to under the 3 point line. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and
Mhm.
yeah, and that too. But I think what the main thing is going for is like an inside presence, and then having shooters around that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like having those set centers and to basically sit on what to what Chilltown was saying, in terms of the Jokic archetypes, in terms of skill set, they did. They in terms of production, they're not. It ain't that many niggas around the league averaging 30, 10, and 10. And Jokic just did that. Jokic is about to do that. As ESPN just said, Jokic is only the third player in NBA history to do that. So like that, it's
Yeah,
just
but you mentioned him in his prime. I mean, come on. Derek Queen ain't gonna be Jokic in his prime.
no,
But
no, no.
just
I
the
mean,
skill
but the skill,
that he
but you can see the skill set is there.
right. That's what I mean.
Yeah, you can see that the skill set is there. Rebound, pass, score, play inside the 3 point line, play like 15 feet in, could get to the floater, could get to those little small shots and whatever. Finds players, bro. Like that's you starting to see more and more of that. But I don't want to leave out the athletic portion of how the center is supposed to be. But having said all of that, everything that you said was valid. In terms of the black Jokic, probably everybody just probably went on an uproar about that. That's probably what it was. But everything that you said
right.
was valid. And ain't nobody and before I passed the mic, nobody gave a definitive yes or no to my shit. So I
Hold
still
on,
stand correct
hold
on
on.
that.
Okay, nah, that's not true. I'm the one that gave it and said it was valid, and it was because of the point that I just said about again, Jordy Fernandez could do one thing when he took over the national team from Nick Nurse, and that one thing was not even getting an NBA player, getting a player out of college in a Zach Edey. So yeah, I said I was with it, but realistically, it was too tough to get him. We would have had to get like mad different draft picks. We was talking about the scenarios that we were trying to, you know what I mean, muster up was
Mhm.
just hard to reach. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know, I
So
know, once again, it wasn't a definitive yes. You pondered the thought.
yeah, I
You
pondered the
pondered the
thought
thought,
hard,
bro. Like,
but again,
like
but
I was the only person definitively on board. That's
but
it.
I
Nah,
was on board with
I
Zach
was
Edey
on
for the
board with
fact
you.
that Jordy Fernandez said that he he picked Zach Edey. So I'm
Yeah,
just
he
like,
did.
all right, he must be a Jordy Fernandez type of player. So I was on board because of that. But you're the first person that mentioned it, and I took interest, and then found out what I just said after the matter, after the fact of the matter.
I
But
was
again,
definitely
that was
on
my
board.
take. We're gonna get to your take right now, and we're gonna recap that too. So go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, though. Ice, were you about to say something?
No, I said I was with Leaf all way. You stepping with your brother. You know what I'm saying? I was there with you. I was there with you with Zach Edey and Kai Jones. You know what I mean? You gotta go back a little further, brother. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go back a little further. Trying to
That's a
tell you, brother.
fact, though.
Yeah, you gotta go back. You
That's
wasn't
a
you
fact.
wasn't a your lone soldier. You was not out there in the field by yourself. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's
You
true.
wasn't
I was
backpacking
too. And,
alone.
yo, I'm glad I said that, yo, because that's
Yeah.
real.
I was out there with the little stick starting the fire, you know what I'm saying, warm things
Mhm.
up. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts. Yeah, that's you ain't giving us no credit, bro. That's
None.
He's got
crazy.
way more.
That's kind of that's
So I
Ice.
can
That's kind of crazy though, right, Ice?
Yeah,
That's
man.
kind of
I'm
crazy.
all he
He
got,
fronting
man.
like he
Yeah.
was the only one there. Nobody had his
Had his
back.
back.
He just was
I
in the blaze of the fire. Just all along. He got this whole folklore story on how he made it.
fight
Like no
everything by
Nets fans
himself. You know
agree.
what I'm saying?
Bro, I
Tackle the
said
bear and everything by himself.
all
Brother.
I listen.
I was
Listen. I stand by what I said 24 hours ago, bro. Like nobody gave no definitive, and nobody gave a definitive answer. Everybody pondered the thought. Everybody pondered how it was gonna work. Everybody pondered all of the ingredients and
So
how
you
the
mad
things was
at us
gonna
for
get set up.
pondering? Were we just supposed to take your word just because you said it? Like we weren't really supposed to do
bro.
our own research and now I'm saying leg work and see what they do. I think that's
Well,
what I do. You know, I don't just take people's word. I do the research. I don't mind doing the
yeah,
research.
and after all of the research, bro, you still pondering, bro. Like I didn't get
No,
any
I
definitive
didn't.
answers.
No, I didn't. I
I
said
don't remember getting
I
any
don't think they
definitive.
would do it.
Ah,
All
yeah,
I
I
there
said
it
don't
was
is.
I
remember
think they
There it
getting
is.
would
any
do it.
definitive
There it
this.
is. And that's the problem right there. You don't remember. You don't remember. I'm glad you said that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because I was, while you was marching up front, you know what I'm saying? I was holding the backpack for you with all the, all the cooking
Uh-huh.
gear. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
First
yo,
aid kit. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right. Set up
Nets fans
shop.
be going through mad shit. You're gonna need the first aid kit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ice was back there with
Look,
the ice pack.
right. You know what
But
I'm
yeah,
saying?
you get what we
And
trying to say,
then
man.
got Ice asking me, do I want to sign Kyle Jones? It ain't this time in this off season, bro. Like it ain't up to me no more. It ain't.
Nah, bro.
And no, hold on. And also, this is two Nets fans on the panel. Now, this is what I'll be
Right.
trying to tell Leaf. I do the work. When you think about all of the other fans that pulled up on this player choice panel, it's two more than any other two fans. They might have a Minnesota fan, they'll have a Laker fan, but it wasn't no two fans of any team. And that's the work that, you know, I partially provide because I represent the fans. You feel what I mean? So case in point is you are not alone.
You're not.
Like
You know what I'm saying?
like making it seem like you out here the only one doing work. I'm trying to tell you, we look at how we is on a player's choice. It's two of us on one episode, and this happened multiple times. I just don't highlight it a lot of times, and I should, but I should though. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that to say, man, we out here, we doing the work, we on one of the bigger platforms for sports, and when it come down to how many fans called in, they gotta say more Nets fans called than any other fans on this episode. We doing the work. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna get to Leafs his take on player's choice right now.
Individualize it, right? I can say that dude is better than that dude because I seen 64 of their games this year. I seen 82 of their games. I can individualize these guys a lot more than I could in the past.
Right. That's all I have, fellas. I
All right,
appreciate
brother.
y'all perspective
Good to
always,
talk
man.
to you, no doubt.
All right, yeah, that was dope. That was dope talk, Vel. Appreciate you for coming up as always, fam. We got another guest. Y'all are familiar with him. He needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Somebody you might have seen up here before, hailing from the city of Brooklyn. We call him the Brim Reaper. We got my main man, Lee.
What up? What up? What up?
First off, Bobby, you don't call me that, bro. Like that's number one. Everybody in the chat ran with that BS, bro. And
I actually like it. I actually dig the Brim Reaper. I
Leaf,
like
that's
that.
hard, bro. That's love, bro. You should embrace that.
Word. I kind of dig that.
well, if that's the case, bro, I need New Era to start sponsoring me. Then, like if anything, that's all well and good. I'm not gonna talk about something that's clearly gonna piss me off, like the Denver Nuggets situation. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about something that's gonna make me neutral. How about Darius Garland? Darius Garland, definitely has upped his game. 2 years ago, chill, we talked about it. When they was in the playoffs, his ass was absolutely chicken roast. In the playoffs, with the Cavs in that series against the Knicks, his ass was a steak and crab dinner. And he's most likely going to be the most negative defender. His defense is probably going to be the most challenged on this team going forward in the playoffs as well, man. Because obviously the Cavaliers don't have a premier perimeter defender, even though Donovan Mitchell is having a pretty balanced year. He ain't having the greatest year, but he having a pretty balanced year. Playmakers is getting better and everything. Evan Mobley might win defensive player of the year. It's most likely gonna happen. I had Triple J for most of the year, but that Memphis shit imploded. But Darius Garland, he's gonna have a lot. He's gonna have a lot to prove in this postseason run for the Cavs. The Knicks, and a lot of other teams. The Knicks is one of those teams, man. They're gonna have their hands full with Detroit. They
Before you
absolutely
go any further, let's get back to Darius Garland. What exactly is a successful postseason for Darius Garland this year?
I say at minimum 19 plus a game, 7 assists plus a game, but good
He was
shooting.
doing that last year, just so you know, Lee. He was doing that last year.
In the postseason?
Yeah, he was doing that last year.
Okay,
he was like 17, 18 a game last year. He was around.
Okay, okay. So, all right. Well, thank you for putting that on my mind. That need to rise then, because in the postseason, your numbers is quote unquote supposed to rise. So I'm getting to about, we're gonna get to about maybe 25 a game, 24, 25 a game.
There's two different 19s though. You can have an effective 19, or you can have a trash. And you've seen a garbage 19.
Yeah, I seen some shit 19s. Oh,
yeah, you've seen a terrible 20 a game.
I have.
But then you've also seen an effective 20. Like, yo, okay, we'll take that 20 over that bullshit 20 right there.
Right. But when I up the score and say like 24, 25, that means that you having some games in the playoffs where you on fire, you lighting it up. You might go for 30 one night, and then a couple of nights you might dumb it down to like 23, 21, but you still effective 23, 21. Like you said, it's a effective percentage, effective 3-point percentage, this, that, and the third. And you're not turning the ball over, you taking care of the ball, you knifing into the defense, you're doing pretty much everything that you did in the regular season, but it's on cloud 9. It's on a bigger cloud. You know what I'm saying? So Darius Garland going forward in this postseason for the Cavs, it's definitely going to be one of the biggest X factors, because I'm not going to let Allen and Mobley off the hook, because the way that they got thugged out by the Knicks a couple of years ago, that's definitely going to be put on notice. They going to be thinking, a lot of teams going to be thinking that they little boys, and they can't be that. Jared Allen, bro, listen, whatever you thinking to come postseason, get right.
You think
Get
right.
That was the pass, though, Leaf. Evan was a plus.
I want to say that it is. I want to say that it is, but we only got one way to find out. And before I go, just to get on the Pistons, the Knicks is gonna have their hands full with them. They're gonna have their hands absolutely full.
Where's the problem? Where's the problem, Leaf, with the Knicks Pistons? In your estimation, you watching the Knicks and you watching the Pistons matched up, where's the biggest problem? Like, oh shit, we got to deal with this right here, and we might not have an answer for it.
The biggest problem is Cade Cunningham. My thing is like, yo, you're gonna have to put Mikal, you're gonna have to put OG on him at some point, bro. And don't get me wrong, Jalen Brunson is gonna have his, but at the same time, these dudes are tough. These dudes are not. They got grown men in the paint. Jalen Duran is a grown man in the paint.
That's an adult.
Isaiah's.
He's an adult. That's an adult
He's
over
a
there.
grown man in the paint,
That's an
bro. Like
adult over there.
ain't
Yes, it
no
is.
bitch in him at all. Like
No.
that's a grown man in the paint.
Beef stew
Bobby,
too.
Bobby, you muted.
Y'all seen what he did to Precious the other night? Put that shoulder in him and just punched him.
Oh yeah.
That
Oh
was,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
that's a Memphis on Memphis crime.
Oh yeah. That's what it is. That he got grown man muscle, grown man strength,
Oh,
and this kid is only what 22, 20,
23.
23
23.
years old, and I
Mhm.
thought he had that when he came into the league. But
Mhm.
Kay Cunningham is gonna be a problem. Them shooters, if them shooters get going, Malik, Tim Hardaway, Toby, if they start going crazy, man, them shooters is gonna be a problem. Indiana's probably a team that you got to look out for too, because offensively, I think they is it me or I think Tyrese Halliburton best game is yet to come.
He getting better as time goes on. He is. He's 100% getting better. I won't argue that. Yes. We actually had a conversation
I
yesterday
might
about him. We had a
I
conversation
might
yesterday about him being an all-pro. We did. We had
I
that
might, I might,
conversation.
I might have to tap Ron on the shoulder, bro, about Tyrese Halliburton, bro, because he been co-signing him since day one, and hey man, listen, I feel sorry for what happened to Orlando, but Indiana might be the they might, it's a possibility that they might get to the conference finals again.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, Leaf, but
Yeah.
that's all we can do is wait. But all right, Leaf, appreciate you pulling
Yes,
up as
sir.
always,
All right,
man.
yo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And embrace that, brother. The Grim Reaper.
New
That's
new era,
the
new
Grim
era got to
Reaper
give me a
good, man.
contract, bro. If y'all
You
not
ain't even
putting,
breaking it neither. You're not even breaking it. It's
no,
just
I just
up
got to
there.
sit. I just got to sitting on top. That's it.
This guy is
Yeah.
sitting up there
All
like
right.
just chilling.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
Leaf.
chilling.
All right.
And by the way,
Alright, so Ice. He said a lot, you know what I mean? But just recapping what Lee said, what you felt about his take.
Yo, the Brim Reaper? That's for real. Yo, that's for real. But he made some valid points. Knicks gonna have their hands full with Cade. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a massive problem. Um, Halliburton was playing terrible earlier this season, and I guess he is getting better. I haven't paid attention too much, but on TikTok where I was just at streaming, young boy was a Pacers fan. He did say Halliburton was getting better. Still think they need a two guard over there, and Nimhard should play back a point guard. But yeah, Leaf is on point with his talking points. You know what I mean? Leaf be pretty solid with his talking points, except for when he get amnesia about who's rocking with him. But other than that, he's solid though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like what he said about the Knicks and the Pistons. I really do think that, you know, Mitch Robinson might be strong as the Duran, but conditioning, he not he not going the distance. He gotta bang with he gotta be physical with Stewart and Duran for a whole 4 games to win. And on top of that, bruh, nah, bruh.
Yeah.
If Detroit make if Detroit make Mitchell Robinson run with Durant and Stewart and be physical, and what I didn't want to forget to say is that the refs let, in my opinion, the players play a little more physical, more physicality in the playoffs. Um, I just don't see how the Knicks going to have that advantage if they can't offensive rebound the way they, because that's part of their offense. And I think the Pistons take some of that away.
I think that was mostly their identity. If the Knicks had the same team last year, healthy, bro, I would probably give them the advantage in the series. But the fact that the bottom line is your last line of defense is Cat. The problem with Cat is that he ain't a dog, he a cat. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, like that's his major problem. Like he ain't a dog, he gonna be a cat. So like if you going up against young thoroughbreds like Duran and Isaiah Stewart, they gonna meet you, bro. They gonna meet you in the physical game because they got that. These dudes ain't even old. These dudes ain't even 24, 25 years old. And the physicality part of the game, bro, they gonna have that on lock.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you got
Brunson, I pray for his little itty bitty ass, bro. But nah, actually, I don't because he a tangerine. I don't even know why I said that, man. Scratch that. Cade Cunningham is gonna barbecue whatever they got in their front, whatever they got in their back here, whatever they got in their backcourt. That shit is getting barbecued. I don't know what they're getting out of OG or Mikal, whatever they're getting out of them, but like in your best player on your bench is Cameron Payne. You got a problem.
So
You have a
so
problem.
see, this is what I'm saying. This is the fun part, right? This is the trade part where we talk about the trade. We're gonna go to ice and then we gonna go to ice and then we're gonna go right back to Leaf. I'll go last. Ice, overall, what do you feel about the Mikal Bridges trade um from then till now?
It's nice. I like it. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And Leaf was right. Bridges played his best basketball, some of his best basketball in the Nets uniform. You know what I'm saying? He averaged about 20. He got to about, I forget, 22, but he ended up averaging 2019, whatever at the end of the day. Right? But the
Mhm.
way that it looked over here and the way that it looks over there is way two different bridges. You know what I'm saying? Knicks fans not happy. Well, I mean, Nets fans wasn't happy with him, but the role that they got him playing for the Knicks fans ain't rocking with him like that. You know what I mean? So I, for the amount of picks they gave us, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful for us. It's not looking good for them, but it's beautiful for us. You know what I mean? So
So let me ask you this. It's a cold game. It's a tough question. And I know you like to kind of see, oh, this is the part right here. Look at this right here. Look at he let Melo down, man. Damn. All right, but back to it. Ice.
yeah.
Time for him to get paid this summer. Knicks paying him or what? It's too early to
Ooh.
say. Depends on how I go in the playoffs. Because right
Yeah.
now, I don't know if the Knicks is trying to give him
Look,
that paper. I
he
don't
he
know.
he a wing player, but I don't think he's the same wing player as he was once. You know what I mean? Like if you look at Bridges from Phoenix to here and then to the Knicks, it looked like he just went downhill. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like he's up climbing. Doesn't look like what they thought he could be. It doesn't look like he can be a two or one. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he needs to be a three or four where he's at. So he gonna get paid. I don't know if they gonna pay him, but maybe another team might slide him a couple of dollars. But definitely he gonna stay in that 3-4 range. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna move up from that.
Hmm. It looked like they win when he played good, but if he played bad, like they made it seem like they're not going to need him on offense. I don't know if that's true.
No, they do. They do
I
need him
don't know
on
if
offense.
that's true, man, because they gave up a lot with DiVincenzo and quickly.
They
So,
definitely need him on offense. You know what I'm
belief.
saying?
Go
Like
ahead, go
Leaf
ahead.
said, you only got what's the name on your bench campaign. So you know what I mean? Like you gonna need him more help come playoff time. Go on, Leaf.
Mhm. Oh yeah, and
Well,
another thing I gotta tell y'all too, and the only reason I gotta say this is that I gotta cut the video right before 2 hours because when Ice told me about the StreamYard and how I could do the clips, you could do it. You got to do it manually if it's the video is longer than 2 hours. So I'm gonna make the video 1:59:58 just so I will get that 2 second grace period, so that way I could, you know what I'm saying, in the show. But go ahead, continue. I'm just letting y'all know that we ended the show like at around 2 hours, so I could clip it up for us to push the content further. But go
I'll be
ahead.
honest. Well, I'll be honest with you about the trade. The trade remind me of that movie Four Brothers. Y'all niggas remember Victor Sweet, bro? When he pulled up to the ice bucket, bro, with the bread, and the nigga Andre 3000 gave him the money. He was like, "God damn it, I like the way you do business."
Yeah.
That's what it was,
Yeah.
bro. We was basically Victor Sweet. Them niggas is on. They pulled up with all the money. It could have been a sweet deal for the both of us. Now it's just a sweet deal for the Brooklyn Nets. I knew this shit was a highway robbery the second night I seen it. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew the Knicks was gonna get desperate, bro. The second that last season was over, bro, because the way that team broke down. Now
Mm-hmm.
you go from Quickly and Barrett to OG Ananobi
to Josh Hart to eventually Bridges. No more Hartenstein. No more who else they had? No more Hartenstein. No more DiVincenzo. No more who else?
quickly.
No more Quickly. No more RJ Barrett. No more Julius Randle. Like these is pieces that was fitting to their identity. That's five players that you had key rotation minutes,
Mm.
key probable minutes to key points of your team, and you got rid of them and you tried to flip them and try to get yourself a connect.
Mm.
It
Mm.
didn't work.
No.
You tried to run back to the dope man. Thought you was gonna get 100,000. You ended up with 50.
Damn.
So the reality of it, bro, like, is that I knew the Knicks was gonna get greedy but I'm hoping that we don't do the same shit. Because guess what? These tri-state teams, like when it comes to New York and LA, well, we get desperate, dumb quick, don't we? We start just handing niggas away. It's almost the same shit we did, bro, when in the James Harden trade. It's almost the same shit we did in the Ben Simmons trade. It's almost the same thing we did when we was competing with Katie and Kyrie. They did the same exact dumb trades that we did,
But
and
the,
it didn't
nah,
work
but
out.
the, but that's the thing though. Like again, as a content creator, I deal with the fans a lot. You know what I mean? They was giving me a lot of flack and how he ain't really want to play with the Brooklyn Nets. This is T Tom telling me this when we used to do the show.
Mhm,
He was right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to admit it, but he was right. He was
mhm.
accurate about Mikal Bridges not really wanting to be a Brooklyn Nets player, and as soon as he got the chance, he went and played with the Knicks. But there's karma to that. You know what I mean? You
Yep.
can spread love. When Brooklyn spread love to you, and you don't spread love back, and you came in with disrespect, respectfully. You know what I mean? You came in talking about the garden in the Barclays. We welcome you. To our humble abode. We let you come in and let you meet all of the what I'm saying, women that you can meet. You could come in and visit all of the Golden Crush you could go to, all of the different Caribbean spots on Flatbush that you could visit.
I mean
You could,
Chipotle.
yeah, you could go to this, all of the Chipotle. You doing Chipotle commercials with a Nick player, teasing how like flirting. You were flirting with the Nick fans as a Brooklyn Nets player, and that's disrespect. It just sounds disrespectful. And not only that, down the stretch, Akon voice, Jalen Brunson looks so lonely. Yeah, you hit that one little floater the other day, but that's not enough. Jalen Brunson pull up a little, and it wasn't a shot that you created. It was a hustle play. And again, I got no knock on that, but I seen Jalen Brunson put up that shot, and it was a nasty one. He didn't get to create the way he wanted to because he was exhausted. He scored most of the points down the stretch. Down the stretch, there was no help for him. There was no cat who's supposed to be there to help him. This is why you made that trade for him to help you down the stretch in the fourth quarter. You didn't get that cat. You didn't get that cat, whether it be a house cat, a store cat. You did not get that cat for
Yo,
it to
Wha-
for 3 quarters. And then you
Whatever,
looking for a
whatever,
cat in the
whatever
fourth
version,
quarter and you
whatever
can't
version
find
of
it.
cat, whatever version of cat that people think is going to show up in the postseason for this Knicks team against a team like Detroit, bro. And now people are starting to people gonna figure out a lot about Detroit in these next couple of weeks.
oh
The
yeah,
thing is, bro, like they don't understand that now. Detroit got reserves too. They got Beasley, they got Schroeder, who we had. They got Fontecchio, they got Isaiah Stewart. They got a bunch of guys that's contributing. And JB Bickerstaff, bro, like you look what he did with that Cavs team, raised them up, leveled them up, year after year after year. Now Kenny Atkinson is there and done got them to something that they ain't been since LeBron was there, back in like in a decade ago or whatever. My thing is that the Knicks, that they done went top heavy to build to try to go toe to toe with stacked teams, like teams that are building their rosters from like at least 1 through 9, and they could go 1 through 9. That's the Cavs. That's Boston. That's Indiana. That's Detroit.
They can't beat none of these teams. That's four teams I gave you that the Knicks cannot beat because the best player off your bench is Cameron Payne. You
Mm,
not getting shit done.
what a shame. What a shame.
But I don't want to continue to talk about the tangerines. That's we soiled up 40 something minutes talking about these burgers, man. Like I want to talk about somebody else.
Hold on. Let me see if I got anything else to say. Nah, I'm done. All right, so we could get to the Rasheer Fleming part of the show, cause oh yeah. We didn't get to the debate part of the show neither, but we gonna talk Brooklyn Nets basketball first. Um, Rasheer Fleming. I want to know who he is, man. Just off of the strength that it seemed like he might come to the Nets, man. They saying that we might use one of the Knicks or the Bucks pick to get him. I don't know how true that is, man. But we gonna see. We
He's
gonna
in the
see.
range. He's in the range.
Rasheed Fleming, that's the is that the point guard? That's
Nah, he a wing. 6'9",
oh
240.
oh
Big
Yeah,
body.
who was the point guard you was telling me about Ice out there? It wasn't Fleming, it wasn't the kid from Georgetown. It was somebody else.
Spears.
Um
Spears is the
no
point
no
guard.
no no no. Who was coming after Fit? Like around that 20 that late
Oh,
round after late round range.
is
Uh,
Jay Gordon is your guy, and Nolan Troyer is the
Nolan
second other
Trayor,
point
right,
guard.
right, right,
Yeah, yeah.
right. Nolan, like, yeah, I didn't get a good look at him. I did look at Sorba a little
Uh-huh.
bit more. Sorba, he like some physicality in his game and everything, man. He likes to get to that lower shoulder time to time to time. It ain't no real finesse in this game, bro. Like, but he does
Right.
like to get to that shoulder a lot. Um, Physical around the basket. I see a lot. I see a good amount of Bam. I mean,
Yep.
even though Bam go to that fadeaway a little bit too much, but he does it.
Yeah.
But he's going. I see a little bit of early aggressiveness with him. Fleming, I ain't really get to. Obviously, I'm sold on Yegor. Um, but Boogie Flynn. It seemed like he might drop even lower, bro. I don't know how severe that injury is, or
It was
whatever
bad.
injury. Yeah,
It was bad.
that
He
injury.
tried to
Yeah,
play. He couldn't really. He didn't
yeah.
get
He
finished.
could. I don't think. Yeah, I feel like Boogie Flan might end up like call me crazy, but it might end up being another Derek Whitehead situation where he got to play himself back into
Back.
that. He got to figure out who he is after this injury. You know what I'm saying? I think Derek Whitehead is just starting to find out what he can do on the NBA level, like even this late in the season, bro. And it took what almost 2 years, because
yeah, but that's
last
why
year,
they
Yeah.
get the players young. They get them young for that very reason. Like let him develop in the G League. At least he on a team, instead of losing him in the draft, because that could happen too. So,
yeah, but
Yeah. The
the
Rick.
thing is, the thing is, we basically redshirted Whitehead, and
right.
we basically redshirted Whitehead because of the injury. If it wasn't for the injury, he probably would have went top 10 in that draft, in that
Yeah.
Wemby draft, and then the same thing happened with old boy from the Thunder, Nikola Topic. They got him in a lab red shirt. So
Right.
this seemed like another red shirt player with Boogie Flynn, because he probably would have went at best, but probably the way that he was playing, what, top 15, top 20.
Mm.
Yeah. Some had him.
So
Some had him in the lottery, but then yeah, he started to drop down because
yeah,
he
yes,
had some deficiencies. But yeah, he'd have been closer. He probably would have in the teens. He probably would have won in the teens.
yeah,
This
but
dude, this dude Fleming a good rebounder too, bro.
Dude.
Fleming look.
yeah. Fleming. I'm hearing that he could get on the boards a bit. He got a good nose for the basketball. Like great positioning. Like around the basket and rebounding and things like that, man. So like I think that's one of his upsides coming into the league. Um,
He got a game where he had 13 rebounds, 14 rebounds, 2 games with 10 rebounds, 9
yeah,
rebounds, just outside of 10 rebounds. A few more, a lot of those games like 8 or 9. Um,
Yeah.
nothing to sneeze at,
He got
especially
a
you think about the
grown man
Brooklyn Nets. You
body.
want somebody to be a rebounder.
He already got the physical prowess for the NBA, bro. Like
Yeah, he a
like he
junior.
already.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah, yeah, he already got the build. So
Yeah.
like if you got the
He's
build
40.
for it, like then you most likely gonna be that's what you're gonna be in the NBA. That's what they're gonna have you doing. The problem is that you're gonna have to go against other guys that have that same build and probably a little bit more muscle, and they ain't gonna just allow you to just maneuver them out the way. They ain't just gonna allow you to just use your elbow and just move them like you little man them, bro. And you like it's very few people that you're gonna be able to little man when you get to that next level and you get to that pro level, and you're gonna run into some dudes that know how to rebound just as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he could do against pick on your own size type of players. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Again, we could always call it tanking. I guess fans gonna do that, but I like to call it the player development season. You know what I'm saying? And again, just for emphasis, what they do in player development season. Since there's only one more game left, so I'm kind of assessing the season. Is they get contracts from the G League. They bring players up where they ain't gotta commit for a long time. The biggest contract that comes from the G League more times than not is 2 years. 2 years and whatever the money is, but the commitment is 2 years. So that being said, that's what happens in a player development season. We've seen four, maybe five contracts. We've seen Tyrese Martin. We've seen Jalen Wilson in the last season. We've seen them bring up Noah Clowney. They didn't have to sign him because he's still on contract. We've seen Tucson. We've seen Killian Hayes, who I thought kind of deserved more of a contract. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't like how they did Killian Hayes. I thought he could, because he was bad at first and then he got better. So I kind of wanted to see him get more. But they again they did enough to show you that that's what happens in the player development season. They're gonna sign contracts from the G League. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say this, man. Listen, I think we could all we should say everything we want about this season. It was supposed to be a throwaway, whatever this is. But I think it's fair to say that in these next two drafts, the real player development is gonna come from the players that we draft and keep and get key minutes from. Not these niggas that we calling up for the G League, bro. These players that's gonna get drafted in these next 2 years, in this draft, and then the next draft follow. Those are the players that we really gonna take seriously as far as player development, because just based off of them getting drafted in the first round, they're gonna be here. The second rounders, bro, like I'm like well, those is on the back end. Those are the niggas that we send to Long Island, and then they showing something, and we ain't got no roster. We bring them up in case we want to tank, and that's exactly what happened this year. But apparently, we didn't tank that well, according to other Nets fans. The real player development is going to start once we want right after draft night, right after we get who we want to get out of this draft, and we get whoever we want to get out of the first round of these
But
next
I
two
can't.
drafts.
I can't. I mean, I don't want to scoff at saying the real. It's just the choice of words because I like
Right,
Keon
right.
Johnson. I thought, and I didn't mention him in the contracts that
I
we
like
signed.
I like them too.
So I'm saying that to say, if he got player developed for him enough for this season, we seen enough from Keon Johnson that he makes the roster. I mean, not just the roster, but the 10-man rotation next season. I will be happy with that, bro. I will be happy with Keon Johnson not
I
coming
think
off the
Keon
bench.
Johnson played his ass off. I mean, I'm listen.
If he take that come off the bench role, I'm rocking.
Keon Johnson played his ass off. Zaire played his ass off. Those is two guys I'm cool with keeping, bro. Jalen Wilson, bro. Like obviously, bro, when his shot is not on, he goes and does the other things. That's a player that we got out of the second round. Um, I'm trying to just go down the list. But a lot of the other dudes that we played, bro, like they was here to fill a purpose of what is now known as a throwaway season. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is, bro. But Keon Johnson is definitely a player. Um, I even people that out on the outside looking in, they watched him. It was like, yo, Keon Johnson. They'd take him as a POA defender because he young, he got some upside, not afraid to shoot. He's gonna make mistakes, now that he's up to hit on this level for the first time and getting real minutes. But I mean, he definitely put his best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? He definitely improved.
Defensively, bro, like we all know what he could do. Zaire, we finding out as a top 10 pick, what he was capable of doing, and Zaire is probably going to get a good, nice, good contract himself. Those are players that's notable. That are probably going to get contracts, and they probably going to be starting on our team, depending on what the roster look like or whatever. But the real, but not the poo poo on them or the rest of the players, but the real player development is going to start with the rookies that we get up out of this draft and the rookies that we get up out of next year's draft,
Yeah, but
because those are
that's
the
true
players that
though.
we're gonna go forward with.
But
That's
that's
just
true
facts.
though. No, it's true. But I think Keon and Zaire, like you just mentioned, they did get player developed at the beginning of the season. Keon Johnson couldn't hit the ocean. You know what I'm saying? If he fell off a boat, but you see, his jumper the rim looked big as an ocean after all of that. You know what I'm saying? Zaire Williams too. His catch and shoot was elite. I won't say elite, but it would got
It was getting
way
up there.
better. It got
Yeah,
way better. You know what I'm saying? And I'd contribute that to him getting the reps. You know, I don't think he. I think he got his minutes took when he was at the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they took his minutes with Gigi Jackson. And at the end of the day, he didn't get a lot of catch and shoot opportunities. But when he came to
I
the
think
Brooklyn Nets,
like if you want to be real,
they gave him the opportunity.
I think Zaire he made like he put a bullseye on Clowney's back, because a lot of the stuff that Clowney was supposed to be doing, bro,
Mm-hmm.
and them knick-knack injuries that Clowney got, Zaire stepped in at a spot, and he was playing like between a 4 and 3, and he did pretty okay. He didn't do bad in the lineup with CJ and with Clax. He took his shots, man, and found his shot like later on during the season. He was getting in passing lanes, getting fast break steals and dunks and buckets, bro. He was a good POA defense, good passing lane defense, bro. Good off like, and he over kind of overnight, bro, like outshined a lot of people on this team.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people on this team, bro.
Listen,
Clax got. I still stand by what I said. Clax got lazy after he got paid. He got
yeah,
lazy.
I'm not mad at you for that take. I just think that at the end of the day, listen, those two guys, as far as player development, Keon Johnson and Zaire Williams, those are the ones who benefited the most. Hold on, we got Ray LM on the panel with us. Shout out to Ray LM. I thought I had been sent you the link, but I just really checked and just seen that I just sent it. Shout out to you though. With the Andy with the new mic, that shit was a funny part too, because I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie. His mic sound crystal clear now, right?
yeah. Fact.
My nigga
Fact.
LM sound like he in the studio.
Shit, what up, right? What up, LM?
Nah, what's good, y'all? I just been listening for real. I put that comment up there. I would be weak. Uh, them niggas would get crazy if Mikal had a bad performance in that series.
Yo, I
I'd
think
be
no, serious.
unforgiving.
Let's talk about it, LM. You think the Knicks fans running Mikal Bridges out of town if he helped them lose this playoff series?
They better.
Nigga
As
said
much
help them lose though.
help them lose is crazy, but they
Said
better.
help them
I mean,
lose.
they sacrificed they future to get him pretty much. They got no picks, no first rounders. They don't got nothing to fall back on. Like, if he don't perform and be what he's supposed to be for that team, they gonna have pitchforks out right in Manhattan, waiting to you know what I'm saying, to just run him out of New York. This is an important series for him, especially since this is his first time being in the playoffs since he was in Phoenix.
So
So
let me ask you this, Ray LM. What is success for the the Knicks this season? But doing everything they did to their roster, what's success for them to say it was all worth it?
uh, so I'll say it because they were saying it. They got to make a finals appearance. That if they make a finals appearance, that's success for them. If it's anything past the second round, third round, it's a failure in my opinion. You don't make the trade for Cat to just be first rounders and just get out of there. Like you seeking a finals appearance at best. Like it is what
At
it
best.
is. At best, a finals appearance, or at least the Eastern Conference Finals. Like
Mhm.
they gonna have to go past Boston in the second round. So I mean, I guess that would be a win if they get past Boston in the second round. So
So they
you know,
have to get. They'll have to play Boston in the second round.
yeah. I mean, I thought us winning would affect that, but I guess not. Because I was gonna say we would have had to win tonight's game, for them to face whoever. But Boston in the second round is tough. Like that's even if they got past the Pistons in like 7 games, you now talking about facing the champions in the second round. Like you don't even get a chance to rest really. Like you walking straight into the fire. So I mean, it is what it is. Right now, it's looking like a second round exit anyway. And if that's the case, Tom Thibodeau might be out of there. I think they get him out of there. Um, if they don't get past the second round.
Nah, nigga, if they go after Mike Malone, bro, I swear to God.
They might go after him. They might go after Taylor Jenkins. Probably. I don't know.
Like, we
But
just
Malone
mentioning
would
fired
trade them
niggas
out.
now, bro. Like, that's what it is, bro. Like, we don't even know why these niggas got fired. Maybe they just switching teams, but like the players do. Who knows?
Hey man, forget
Huh?
about the Knicks real quick. We're gonna talk about Rasheer, man. Rasheer, if Rasheer was drafted this team, who was he going? You know what I'm saying? Who he gonna give problems to keep in their roster spot?
I ain't gonna lie. It might be not the most take crazy take out there, but I'm looking at Clooney and I'm saying, yo, your time might be limited depending
Stay,
on what
stay on
happens.
mute, people. Your audio is you
The
gotta
Uh,
fix the
LM, you
thing.
said Clowney?
yeah.
Yeah,
My
Not
bad.
saying
I
that
had the
they can't
fan on, Breezy. My
not saying
bad.
that they can't coexist. Like if
Alright.
they got him, I think you can coexist. But Rasheer can play the 3 and the 4. That's two
yeah,
things that he got over Clowney that Clowney can't do. And he can put the ball on the floor. He can drive from each direction.
I
He
mean,
got
yep,
great perimeter defense. You got these 6'9", 6 probably might grow to be 6'10", 240. Got the NBA body build already. Can shoot 40% from the 3-point line. Like
yeah.
50%.
Off the top.
I don't think we should give up on Clowney just yet, bro. Like,
If
Nah,
they
nah,
can coexist, they can coexist. I'm just
we're not
saying.
giving up,
I'm
right?
looking at Clowney like, yo, you might not be our starting four if Rasheer is
Player one.
what he pans to be. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. He tough. He gonna give people a run for their money, bro. Like he tough. Like Ellen said, he got the size, he got the speed, he a good slasher too, and he's trying to dunk. If he get a slash, he trying to dunk. You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying? It's no
and
but Ice, based on the way that Jordy's been coaching, bro, been coaching Clowney, I don't think Clowney has been doing anything wrong. I mean,
no,
obviously the injuries are injuries, and I think Fleming, he seemed like somebody that's gonna come in right away and fit Jordy's training camp. He seemed like somebody physically though that could do a lot of different things than Clowney.
yeah,
But at
it's
the
not Clowney's fault. That's what we say. It's
no
not
no
his
no, it's
fault.
definitely not
It's just
Clowney's fault.
there's some
But I
people
feel
that
like
there's players that sometimes is more talented and more versatile than you.
no.
Like
yeah.
And I feel that, but at the same thing, bro, like we gotta understand, Clowney came in basically being
Ball.
we was basically calling him Clax, bro, with range. That's basically what we was referring to him as, bro. Like if like Clowney just got to survive the training camps. He couldn't really survive it. For the Jordy training camp so far, bro. I think it's just something that he got to get used to. Um, there are players in this draft that Jordy would like to draft that's gonna fit right in, right from
Right.
training camp, and they're gonna go into the season like feet to the fire. They're gonna go in ready to run. They're gonna go in ready to run and ready to get minutes. Is Clowney gonna be that coming into next season, bro? As somebody that was picked in the damn Wimby draft.
This is a nigga that we got at 21 in the Wimby draft, bro. Like, if you want to really want to be honest, like, a lot of what he was doing, and this is probably not a fair thing to say. A lot of what he was doing, bro, rivaled that of what Derek Whitehead was supposed to be right away, bro. Like, we put him in that game against Milwaukee, bro, and he was told to guard Dame right away, bro. Like, and he didn't do too bad. You know what I'm saying? And he was coming from the G League, and he had his shine at the G League when we put him down there, bro, and then came back up, and we told him to guard Dame. When him and Claxton was on the court, bro, like for the first couple of 20-something games, bro, and that last portion of last season, he did great. But and since then, he had that same ankle injury and everything, bro. Fleming, he looks like somebody physically that's gonna fit right in. It's gonna have the muscle and gonna have the gumption and gonna have everything that you're looking for from a set power forward position. But um, I think we probably need more like everything that we looking for from Fleming. We kind of looking for that at the five too. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how long Nick Claxton is gonna be here, bro. And I don't know. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, bro. I
I
ain't
just
no
want
more,
players on
ain't
this
no more
team.
saving Claxton this time around.
I just want players on this team that's more versatile and don't just play one position. Like
Yeah.
that's my only issue with Clowney. Like if he the four, cool. But if you got somebody on the team that can play possibly even two, sometimes three,
Right.
and the four,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm looking at that player and I'm like, yo, we
That's
love
where
you.
we at.
We
Yeah. That's what.
drafted you, but if y'all can coexist, y'all can coexist. That don't mean
We
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 gotta.
we 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 gonna find out more about Fleming, bro, when he at the court, bro. Like for real, and when
Yeah.
he fit into what Jordy is trying to do.
if
Like that's
he
the
if
thing
he
about it.
I'm not saying he gonna have a crazy rookie year, but
Right.
if his rookie year, if he starts showing impact or certain signs of things that he can do better than Clowney immediately, I'm not
Yeah.
hesitating for him to probably be the starting four and have Clowney come off the bench. If you're not gonna trade Clowney, I'll keep him on the bench. But
Look at
the
player one
starting
Thomas.
position is the starting position is definitely not if we get him, the starting position is not just yo, it's you and nobody else. Like that's definitely gonna have to be discussed.
Yeah.
Especially next
I
year, his
think the
rookie
center I
year
think the
anyway.
center
So,
position is probably something that we gonna have to look a lot more deep in depth into, bro. I feel what Ice was saying about Fleming and even about Sorba, but that center position, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, Ice. I'm looking at Danny Wolf different, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like I know what you said about Maynard, but
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at Danny Wolf very, very differently, bro, than I looked at him in the past couple of weeks, bro. Like I'm like,
You
man,
think he is you think he is center?
I
Or you
think
hell
think
he
he a
yeah,
is.
power
he a
forward?
four.
I think he is starting center.
Ah, nah,
Nah,
man.
he a four to me. I remember
Exactly.
he
I
played
don't know if he mobile enough to play the four in the NBA, bro. That like
You
the NBA fours, bro. Like bro. It take
you damn near
that.
gotta be mobile at the five now too. Look at
Yeah,
the
right.
well,
five.
yeah, but I think he can be mobile at the five. We talking about like at the end of the day, bro. I think we talking about the finished product of these
He
players
he's
and
not
what they eventually are gonna evolve into, bro. Like
nah,
the direction that Wolf is going, bro, is starting center.
nah,
I
he
think
was starting.
he's legitimate 7 foot 250.
Nah, he's a legitimate like he's in Evan Mobley's category. He's not Evan Mobley, but he's in that category of being 7 foot. I could put you on the wing. You could create for yourself out there, and you can drive to the basket. You can spot up, shoot. But when it comes to being in the post or guarding somebody in the post, that's why they had Gold in the other 7 foot center. He's stronger, more physical, hook shot. Doesn't really shoot the three as much as Wolf. So that's why they had him at power forward. So when he comes to the NBA, he's gonna play power forward. Like you could put him at center for times, but you know what I'm saying? They gonna back him down, and he ain't gonna be
I,
physical enough to you know what I'm saying, fight his way through people backing him down all the time. But on a perimeter offense, he gonna give people problems. He got guard handles.
I
That's
mean, well, like, yeah, and I think that's gonna be his counter to
not having a lot of the center, not having the true center abilities. Like what do we say about Joker? Going back to when he was drafted, even still to this day, yo, he can't do nothing defensively, da 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 da, and we still saying it to this day. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Sabonis or a Sangoon or one of them guys. And look at their teams. My thing is like your advantage is your advantage, bro, and your weaknesses, bro. Like you gotta build a team around it, bro, to basically kind of neutralize it, so it don't seem
I
as
see what you
crazy.
might say as with Wolf at the 5. We don't have a team to surround to go. Jokic has Gordon, Porter Jr., like dudes that
Well,
can.
yeah, he got that now. But
Nobody has
think about
unless you're talking
think
about.
about what Jokic had when he first got there. I think if anything, he had Nurkic who could move players around a little bit more, but Nurkic was 2 foot slow. Nurkic couldn't like the way that the league was evolving. Nurkic didn't have the skill set that Jokic had, so
Yeah,
they had
and
to
that's
get
why
rid of one
they.
or the other.
But also, the
Yeah,
Jokic is 6'11", 284. Like he
both of
has
them too slow enough for the
grown
defense. For the
man
defense.
body. Jokic is slow in defense, yes, but
Mm.
he's a
But
efficient
having
center because of the weight. Like he can hang with the Embiids and the whatever because he's 284. I don't really see that from Wolf as to where he can hang with the big boys. Like
The
you
the
got
real the real reason why Joker can hang with everybody is because of his offensive production and his overall offensive prowess and rebounding wise, bro. Like what he could bring, bro. Like he still boards. I think the like obviously Wolf coming into the league is not gonna be that. He's gonna have to evolve into like that said big man position and that said starting five and be like in battle with the Donovan Klingons and the Zach Edys and those are the young centers that he's going to be battling with, bro. Like probably when he comes in, if he's put at the center position. But I think the way that he's going, everything that he's going, bro. Like by the time he gets like into 5 years into his career, he's not going to be no four. That tall four, bro. Like that, like the league don't play like that no more. They don't, bro. Like Evan
nah,
Mobley, bro.
these
Like
official fours. You got AD. I think Cat
right,
is a
I
four.
mean, but
Cat is definitely a
Evan Mobley, Triple J, they athletic force.
Bam.
They can still block shots and they can
Bam
still
is a
get out and run.
Bam is a four.
Yeah,
Realistically,
Bam.
Yeah, he
like
is.
Bam
Bam
is a
is
forward, yeah, but Bam is 6'9". When we talk about Danny Wolf at 7 feet 250, bro, like he's going towards the direction. By when we look at him in another 5 years, we're gonna be like, yo, this is a starting five.
Yeah, no, a
It's
7 footer is the
basically
starting
Cat,
five for
bro.
me.
Except
Or
Cat.
start
I
five.
think they're the same prototype. I don't think Cat is a five. Cat is
Right,
He
definitely a
not.
four. He's 7 foot two
Mm,
48 with guard skills.
yeah.
right.
He's been if you put him next to an official five, you with ergo on Minnesota, like
Right.
when he was with Gobert, he thrived. Like
Right.
he thrived at the four for most of his career. So it won't be crazy to say if Wolf is at the four next to a real genuine big,
Center.
he
Yeah.
still will dominate.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Just let me just put this on your mind. So, him next to, let's say, somebody like
Him next to
Don
Wimby would be nasty. If you
him.
put him at the four next to Wimby
Yeah.
that is
I
a
mean,
big
but what I'm thinking of, you got to put him next to somebody that's gonna battle and do more of the dirty work inside. I don't think you could put him next to a finesse big like Wimby. Wimby still do finesse shit. I'm thinking like yo, you got to put him next to somebody that's gonna get gritty, like a Jalen Duran or
Yeah.
Donovan Klingen or
Yeah.
like somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's gonna do the dirty work inside the paint and around the basket and get them 15 rebound games, them 20 rebound games with like 8 points, and you don't have to
Right.
run
But
plays for them. They're gonna do all the hustle work.
if a
My
coach
like
and
that's
that's
basically what you. If that's basically who Wolf is, but basically the finesse four, you do all the
yes.
offensive shit, and then the 5 men do the dirty work shit. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. Okay, all right.
That's
could
If
what
y'all
be
say
could be a
so,
finesse.
okay. So who in this draft is the dirty work big? Like, all right, yo, I'm gonna
Ryan
get who?
Kalkbrenner. Ryan
Call,
Kalkbrenner.
Ryan
Play.
Cartbrenner is the ultimate dirty work five in this draft.
He
He's the
yeah
guy that you don't
he
have to run plays for. He's the guy that's gonna get rebound after rebound, keep
yeah
plays alive, block shots,
yeah
and you don't have
yep.
to worry about him scoring. You
Nope.
just got to worry about him rebounding and keep him off the boards.
You don't gotta worry about nothing with Kalkbrenner,
Well,
except for
Kalkbrenner,
his
to be fair, Kalkbrenner's like seven. What is he? 7'1"?
7'1",
Right.
seven
So
one,
Seven.
two fifty.
Okay, so he's 7'1", and he's arguably the best intangible presence in terms of rebounding and defense in this draft. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, yeah, because he's a senior. That's why he's in the second round. But like I said, he broke Patrick Ewing's block shot blocking record or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? That Pat Ewing had. He broke that shit in college, and he
So
right now
yeah,
he
you ain't had
averaging
that shit
three.
since like the '80s. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, so he broke that shit, and he averaged about 3 blocks a game. You know what I'm saying? And I forget how many
Okay.
rebounds, probably like nine or 10 rebounds and something points. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That he averaged.
depending on where he goes, depending on what team he goes to, whether it's a backup or a starter,
So
he
so he's the dude that like all right, yo, if you don't got like a real true elite big man that's gonna put some type of pressure on the court and some type of floor raise, and you got the shooters and you got the facilitators, but you need that presence, you gonna put him in. That's what you say. What's that tall African nigga that played for the Celtics before they had before they got
He's
Porzingis when
got
Porzingis was
Tyler.
out. I'm talking.
Kalkbrenner's
What's the
like
You talking about
Brooke
Tyler?
Lopez. He's like
what what?
he's like Brooke Lopez.
Wait,
Kalkbrenner's like
Yeah. If
he's
you
like
he's
Brooke.
if
Wait,
you
hold on.
he's
If
like
you saying
Brooke.
he like Brooke Lopez ain't a dirty work dude though, bro. Brooke Lopez is standing on the perimeter. Brooke
Nah,
Lopez is an
nah,
offensive
nah,
machine.
nah. Yeah, but not when the old Brooke and get in the paint. Well, he plays more in the paint. He could do the outside things. He could drive to the rim and all that. But he does the dirty work. Like he'll post you up, back you down, hook shot. You know what I'm saying? Face up,
he could be a
jumper.
Brook
You know,
Lopez 2.0, but with better, just with the dirty
Just
work.
just with but just with more of the dirt, just more around the basket,
yeah,
clean up,
yeah,
rebound.
yep.
Throw that like just make sure you rebound. Like man, I'm talking about somebody that can man the paint
Oh
with
yeah, he's
with one
doing that.
shot.
Yeah, he's doing that. That's what he's doing. Backing you down, hook shot you to death. If
I'm not talking
especially
about
his
the
shooting.
offense. I'm not talking about the offense. I'm talking
Oh,
about more like finishing plays with your rebounding,
yeah,
offensive
nah,
boards,
yeah.
keeping that alive. I don't really
Oh
like
man, I'm gonna show you.
like
Send you a video. I'm gonna send you a video.
like no. See, my thing is at the five, bro. Like, I need somebody that's gonna command the paint on their own, bro. Like, all
Right.
right, yo, the weak side help ain't there. All right, yo, I'll give you a perfect example. The defense is broke down. The weak side help ain't there. You the last line of defense. Yo, you know how to cover. You know how to cover contest the shot and still go get the board. That's the type. That's the type of bigs that you looking for. Them clean up type of niggas.
That's a fact. Hold on,
Kalkbrenner
yeah.
can do that, but I think it
Hold,
might be a little bit. You will have to decide if I don't even know if Sean Marks will even pick a big in this draft. Realistically, I don't trust the front
damn.
office like that. Respectfully, I don't know, but uh, you will have to make a choice if you choosing Kalkbrenner or Queen or whoever. There's a lot of you got Claxton, you got Clowney, you got freaking Dayron. You're gonna have to make a decision about which of these players. There's too many people. You don't want to have a Houston issue where there's
I think Clax is 1 foot out the door. LM. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I do think there's a trade package coming up, but I don't want to speak too much on it just because remember I'm trying to put all of these shows within 2 hours so that way we could clip and push the content. When it's over 2 hours, I gotta manually try to clip in, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to have AI chop it up for me. And even if y'all want to go live after the 2 hours, like if y'all want to like that, y'all start a new one. But let me at least do that so that way we could push the content for the clips
Right. I forgot
because
about
there's
the
a
two
lot of
hour
good
shit. Yeah.
content within a 2 hour show, and it's a tall ass to ask fans to watch a 2 hour podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking
I'll be
forward
honest.
to
I'll
it.
be honest with you. I could never do that, bro, with my play by plays because that's to two. That's basically 2:30. Because even if I come in late, bro, like you gotta dig in the timeouts, the times that we
All
challenged
that.
in plays, because as you already know, Jordy gonna challenge like 2 or 3 of them shits a game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
and a
yeah,
whole bunch of other stuff, bro. And halftime, and then other shit. The game might be delayed for some reason or some shit like that. Who knows what would happen? So I mean, it'll be hard for me to do it. But I'm glad you
yeah,
thought of that shit because I did think of the two. They got the same shit on Restream, and I'm gonna try to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make them between 2 hours, so I'm gonna get to the content. So I don't mean to cut y'all off. I'm just trying to structure it a little better so that way we could push the content with the clips. Now we will write about Chill and Real Talk. Real Talk actually won that debate and is going to face Mars in the battle. Now Mars is versus Jordan right here, and obviously Mars won. I just told y'all that, so he's gonna face for the championship for the $5,000 in the debate. It's gonna be Mars versus Real Talk. Now Jordan is still in it versus Chill for third place. I don't know the third place prize, probably steak knives. I don't know. All I'm saying is when it come down to the, what we watching the champion versus the third place runner up. So it's going to be competitive. We're going to see how this plays out. Give our own takes on the the content, and then take it from there.
His name is. We just know we got Morris Talk Sports versus the flyest man NPC. What's up, fellas?
What up? What's the deal?
Real Talk said he putting on for Houston. Is he doing it or is one of y'all?
I mean, it is what it is,
Okay. Well, let's get into it, y'all. I'm gonna cue up the timer. Jordan is gonna be on you. Marju will be going second. And the first topic is who's the most important player for the Cleveland Cavaliers offense this year? Let's do it.
All right, so for me, the most important player for the Cavs team got to be Darius Garland. Because last year, when you think about it, Donovan Mitchell had the most touches on the team. This season, Darius Garland has the most touches on the team, and the Cavs offense is #1 offense in the NBA. A lot of that has to do with the roster construction, but a lot of it also has to do with who's running the show. It's clear that the point of emphasis this year was to get the ball to Darius Garland more and get him more involved, even if that meant sacrificing Donovan Mitchell. If we talk about the assists, Garland is obviously leading the team in assists per game, but that doesn't tell the full story. He's leading the team in assists points created per game at 17 points per game. That tells the full story for me because he's doing a lot of playmaking for his team. How do I know that? When we talk about the drives, because he leads the team in that 14 drives per game. Now we all know drive and create playmaking opportunities, which is super important for this Cavs team, the way that they structure. The amount of shots he generates for guys like Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, who don't get many post-ups and ISOs, tell you how important Darius Garland is for the team. And last but not least, we can look over his 20 points per game. The scoring ability that he brings to this fluid Cavs team is really the key to how this offense is so good. Him being able to shoot the ball and get to wherever he wants to, how he shoots to pull up threes. It was questions last year how this duo, Mitchell and Garland, will work. And I think the Cavaliers sent a clear message on how it was work. Put the ball in Garland's hands and let him be the one that drives the engine. Last year, they tried to run it by making Garland take a backseat to Donovan Mitchell and take them to the promised land, but it was clear that they didn't do that. So this year, the point of emphasis was Darius Garland. You run the show, and we not taking a backseat. This is going to go as far as you take us.
Mars, so are you.
I think it's Donovan Mitchell. I think when we talk about importance, we got to look at what the goal of the team is. What's more important for Charlotte is not the same thing for Cleveland. Cleveland's goal is winning a championship. So who's more important to the offense in that goal is very obviously Donovan Mitchell. When you look at who holds up against the best teams in the East, the best contenders, that's Donovan Mitchell. Teams, when you look at matchup difficulty, who's being guarded by who, Donovan Mitchell is taking the toughest matchup night after night. He's in the 98th percentile of matchup difficulty. When you ask who's asked to self-create more, it's Donovan Mitchell. 22% of his 2-pointers are unassisted. He is asked to 22% of his 2-pointers are assisted. He's asked to create for himself, and his downhill pressure is maybe not to the same degree as Darius Garland in terms of who's driving more, but who's getting all the way to the rim more consistently is Donovan Mitchell. Who's collapsing defenses at an elite level is Donovan Mitchell alongside Darius Garland. And when we talk about who's been able to hold up in the postseason as a scorer, it's been routinely Donovan Mitchell. When we talk about the goal of getting to the finals and getting through the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell has been the one that through years past. And even this year, we've seen against the Boston Celtics when he's averaging 35.5 points per game compared to Darius Garland's 19. He is the one that they go to. He is the one that is reliable. When teams switch everything and Darius Garland can get taken out of games because he doesn't have the physicality to hold up against those types of defenses, Donovan Mitchell is the one they go to because he is the best self-creator on the team. He is the best athlete on the team. He is the stronger player out of the two. And when we talk about the playoffs, the most valuable attribute a player can have, in my opinion, is strength. Because when someone is physically inferior, they struggle against certain matchups in the postseason. Donovan Mitchell does not have that problem because of his physical imposition that Darius Garland just simply can't match.
Back on you, Jordan. Let's do it.
All of that is fine, but when I talk about this team, like last year, Donovan Mitchell with those attributes took him as far as he could take him, and that wasn't very far. So this year they came up with a new game plan to make sure they remove all of the Donovan Mitchell isolation plays as much as he did last year, or not remove them, but just make sure we prioritize Darius Garland with the ball a little bit more, prioritizing Darius Garland running the show. And when we talk about how well their offense performed, like for example, when Darius Garland is on the floor, their offensive rating is 123. When he off the floor, the offensive rating drops significantly to 116. That's a 7-point swing. With Mitchell on and off the floor, it stays the same. So it's nice that we talk about how good Donovan Mitchell is in the playoffs, but like I said, that was last year. This is the new show. They obviously came up with a new regime on how they wanted to run things, which we questioned last year if that duo could work between Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. We don't really question it this year because Darius Garland has played a lot better. He's involved a lot more. He gets his guys involved a lot more. Not saying that Donovan Mitchell doesn't either, but a lot of Jared Allen buckets come from Darius Garland drives and dump downs, him creating opportunities for other people, him being able to get to where he wants to on the floor is super important. Like I said, Donovan Mitchell can create all the things he can create, and he's going to take the best matchup, which kind of alludes to my point a little bit more. Because he's going to get the best matchup, Darius Garland gets to get a weaker matchup, which he can create those drives and create other things for the team. It's not just about who looks like the superstar. It's who makes the team a little bit better. And I think Darius Garland does that.
I think you're harping on the touches point a bit too much, because when you look at what happened last season to this season, both of their touches went down. Donovan Mitchell was averaging 79, Darius Garland was averaging 75. They've both gone down to around 60. In fact, the touches are quite even. Their time of possession has even gone down. The biggest difference has been Evan Mobley and the fact that the ball's not sticking with anyone as much as it used to last year. So what you're really arguing is that Darius Garland didn't become more important in the offense. It became more spread out, more egalitarian, and Kenny Atkinson actually empowered Evan Mobley. So this point about Darius Garland's more involved in the offense, no, he has the ball less this year. He touches the ball less this year. So no, he's not more involved this year. In fact, everyone's just more involved than they were last year. But Donovan Mitchell, when we talk about importance, let's remember the word is importance. When we're talking about the goal of winning a championship, the Cavs are an elite offense with Darius Garland on the floor, with Donovan Mitchell on the floor, with both of them on the floor, with one of them on the floor. They're an elite offense. But when we talk about what the goal is, and that's getting through the Eastern Conference, Donovan Mitchell has shown time and time again, whether that be against the Boston Celtics, like I alluded to, against the New York Knicks, where he's averaging 26 points per game on 72% true shooting compared to Darius Garland's 20 points per game on 59% true shooting. What we are looking for is Donovan Mitchell is able to scale up his scoring and his offensive production when they really need it most. Is Darius Garland a great offensive player? Absolutely. But when we talk about the goal of a championship, what Darius Garland is able to do against the Hornets and the Bulls and the Hawks during the regular season is amazing. But we're not going to see those teams in our quest to a championship. And when we're on that quest, Donovan Mitchell is the one who time and time again is the one who the Cavs go to, and he's the one who steps up in a way that Darius Garland quite simply can't. That's how you see who the most important is. When we really need it, who do we go to? And that's Donovan Mitchell.
3 minutes. Talk to us, fellas.
I would agree with you when you're talking about scaling up Donovan Mitchell. I'm not disagreeing with you that they have to do that. He's obviously probably their best scorer. But what I'm saying is the reason why Donovan Mitchell is a little bit less than what he was last year. And you're right, Darius Garland touches did go down too. But the brand of basketball that they playing is a little bit different. And that starts with Darius Garland, him running the show. Not saying that Donovan Mitchell doesn't run the show too, but it's evident that when Darius Garland is off the floor, how their offense drops a little bit. And that's contingent upon of Donovan Mitchell may got to get a little bit more active. So when I talk about important to this Cavs team, I don't necessarily want to say that Donovan Mitchell is the only person that can scale up. I think for the Cavs to do better than they did last year, everybody has to scale up. And I think that you have
alongside
to have
what you know you're going to get from Donovan Mitchell.
But we don't know
if Cavs are in a position. That's the building block of the team. The building block is Donovan Mitchell has to give us this baseline level of production. What Darius Garland can bring us alongside Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, that's what gets us over the top. But that's assuming you get Donovan Mitchell. If they don't get Donovan Mitchell in the postseason, they have no chance. Darius Garland is.
I disagree that they don't have no. but I disagree that they don't have no chance. I think that the take that they're going to take into the playoffs is more of a team aspect. I think that Donovan Mitchell doing what he did last year and them not getting very far. I think
He got hurt.
He got hurt. Yeah, of course too. But I'm saying, but I think from them taking that approach of saying this year we're going to change all of that and make sure everybody is more involved, and that starts with the way that Darius Garland dishes out the basketball. I think that was a clear indication that this is not just as far as Donovan Mitchell is going to take it. It's as far as Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Now, I'm saying, like Chill say all the time, he's the lead guard. He's the one that get those guys going. Without Darius Garland, they don't have the number one offense in the NBA. So, I mean, and of course, without Donovan Mitchell, too, you can counter that with that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
like I said, it's obvious. You take Darius Garland off the floor, their ratings drop. You take Donovan Mitchell off the floor with Darius Garland on, it stays the same. So, it's not so much that, oh, Darius Garland, I mean, Donovan Mitchell has to scale up. He's the strongest. He's all that. No, it's just the fact that Darius Garland get them a little bit more organized. Also, DG is not made to, Donovan Mitchell is not made to do everything Darius Garland does. That's not his game.
They do different things, and that's what makes them a great team. But once again, I'm going to keep harping on the point of importance. If we're looking at it, what Donovan Mitchell provides is a scoring ceiling and floor that is higher than anything Darius Garland can match. Darius Garland's scoring floor is extremely unreliable because of the fact that he relies on the pull-up jumper as much as he does, and he doesn't have the super.
He shoots at a great percentage, though.
He does, but volatility, and he doesn't have the ability to get all the way to the rim like Donovan Mitchell does. Donovan Mitchell is able to get into the lane out of pick and roll, out of isolation in a way that Darius Garland isn't, which is why you see him relying on these floaters and these touch shots that are difficult, and he can make them, and he's really good at them, but the volatility is at a different level compared to Donovan Mitchell. So I'm talking about more important, looking at the person who they need to be at a certain level, and that's always been Donovan Mitchell. Everything else is really just complementary.
Oh, yeah. It's cooking up in here. He's getting hot in here. Cheerio, crack a window.
I thought you might have gone with Evan Mobley. I was like,
I like both of their debates. I thought it was tough, but I like the whole drive and kick thing because there's not much of a separation between the two when you talk about the points. It's 20 to 24, and Darius Garland averaged more assists. So what do you rather, 20 and 6, or like damn near 20 and 7, or 24 and 5? It's really close. So I think it was a good debate, and both of them had a good arguments in what they were saying. I like. I'm not gonna lie, Jordan's debate a little more because he kept harping on how we seen what it was when we gave the green light to Donovan Mitchell last season and see how far it got us. And they are playing exceptionally well this year with the way they changed things around involving Darius Garland more so. With a short soliloquy, I got Jordan in that first round.
I'm with you. Same thing. The way he explained Darius Garland's role and on and off the floor, especially when he said the numbers changed with DG is off the floor. That makes a difference. Tell you that he's more important this season. You know what I'm saying? The way that they're using him. So I went with Jordan.
Yeah, it's just me and you. Leaf left, LM left. Shout to them though. I'm finna close out soon. Almost hitting that 2-hour mark.
I thought you was going to have a moment.
I was thinking about it.
All right, y'all. If you are in here, make sure you like the video. Make sure you keep going in the comment section. And once again, right quick, there will be a PCL after party. Ironically, we're watching the Cavs play against the Pacers, so y'all make sure to pull up after this on playback. But as of right now, y'all, let's get into topic 2. What you got for us? We have the 2025 Coach of the Year. Jordan, you kick things off, so Mars, it's going to be on you this round. Talk to us.
I think the Coach of the Year award is quite simple. It's who's been the best coach in the NBA this season. And I know he won it last year, but Mark Daigneault has been the best coach in the NBA this season. What he's done in producing this Oklahoma City team to not only have the second best net rating in NBA history, which is absurd when considering they're a young team, not many people saw this leap coming, and having a top 10 relative defense of all time. Now, I know a lot of people praise the personnel, but Jalen Williams has missed 11 games. Lou Dort has missed 9. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed 23. Kayson Wallace has missed 12. Chet Holmgren has missed 48. Alex Caruso has missed 26. Of their 6 best defenders, that is 129 games missed between all of them. And they have had an elite defense no matter what lineups you put out of there. When we talk about coaching, defense is a big part of that. Coaching is really more important with the defense as opposed to the offense, because you can have one offensive player and you can put pieces around them and make them really work. But defense is a lot of schematics, a lot of personnel. And Mark Daigneault has proven that he can coach an elite defense regardless of the personnel. When you look at the lineup of the worst defenders the Oklahoma City Thunder have, with Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and Jalen Williams, the other one, not J-Dub, they still have a 98 defensive rating with those 3 on the floor. It has shown that Mark Daigneault can produce elite defensive results no matter who's around him. And when we talk about the offense, the one flaw that OKC had early on in the season was their inability to beat zone. What did Mark Daigneault do? He adjusted within that zone, and now they're more efficient at beating zone than they are against man, and are the best zone attacking team in the NBA. He found a weakness within his team, saw them get exploited against Cleveland, and then turned his team into the best zone beating team in the NBA. Now that's coaching.
Jordan, 1:30.
For me, this one was hard because I would have to admit that I was wrong about this guy, and that's Kenny Atkinson. To take over from a questionable firing of JB Bickerstyle, and then to come in and turn his Cavs team completely around, and then had the guts to do what he did with making Donovan Mitchell sacrifice to get Garland to buy in to what was once said the duo that couldn't play together. For him to come into a brand new system and accomplish the best offense in the league, one of the top defenses in the league, and one of the deepest teams in the league. And unlike Oklahoma City, they not doing it with the best player in the league like SGA. They're doing it as a collective unit, which lets me know that that's coaching. The way the ball floats around, the continuity of this team, making it one of the best teams in the NBA is a clear indication of how well they are coached. A good coach also knows how to revive playing careers, and that's what he did with a guy like Ty Jerome, with a guy who was damn near out the NBA and now a main rotation guy, getting the most out of guys like Dean Wade and Sam Merrill, who on most teams might not have got the chance to do that, and might not got the chance to impact the team like that. Now, to me, that's coaching. Also, when you look at from what the Cavs came into having what the Cavs came into from last year of firing JB Bickerstaff, and then Kenny Atkinson coming right back in and saying, you know what? Y'all were good, but I can make y'all better without the best player. Like, we know Shea gonna give you 30 every night. We know that's a given. Donovan Mitchell is not giving you 30 every night. Darius Garland's not giving you 30 every night. He had to figure out a way to make that group work collectively. And then for them to do what they're doing is impressive. Having one of the best defenses in the league, having one of the best offenses in the league.
Back on you, Mars.
Yeah, I think everything you're saying is Kenny Atkinson a great candidate. But when you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, the amount of adjustments they've had to make within the season has been phenomenal. If you remember, they came into the season, first 9 games, they're the best defense we've ever seen. That was the topic. That was what they were statistically. And then Chet Holmgren goes down in the first 5 minutes of that Warriors game. They have no Hartenstein. Now Chet's out. Everyone's like, oh, what's OKC going to do? How are they going to make this work? They then went to J-Dub at the 5 and kept the best defense in the NBA until Hartenstein came back. They then had to implement Hartenstein, a new player, the biggest free agent in Oklahoma City's history, and then maintain the best defense in the league while having to implement someone new into their system who they barely played with, only had about 12 minutes in preseason to deal with him. They implemented that. And then we go throughout the season where they're struggling offensively without in the non-Shea minutes. What did they do? They then bring Chet back in February. They're now running double big lineups that they've never run all season, and they end up having a plus 12 net rating in double big lineups within 10 games of them playing together. Mark Daigneault has shown the ability to adjust, change his scheme, match his personnel, all in a stretch of weeks that no one has really been able to do. When we talk about coaching, the ability to adjust on the fly, the ability to put your players in the best position to be successful, Mark Daigneault is doing that in a way that not many coaches in NBA history have done, let alone in the NBA today. When we're talking about the fact that he's having to change his lineups game after game, some games Chet and Hartenstein start, sometimes one of them's off the bench, sometimes we're playing double big for minutes at a time, sometimes we're going with no bigs. Mark Daigneault's ability to change what he wants to go to within the game, no one's matching that. That's the coach of the year.
Jordan?
I think everything Mars is saying is 100% accurate, but I also think that one of the back ends of Mark Daigneault's point is that he still got the comfortability of having Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being able to dominate pretty much every matchup every single night. And then just obviously the way that they play defense and getting people to speed up. But when you got a guy that you know is going to give you 30 a game, you know he's going to do that. You know some games he can come in and get you 40 a game. On the other end, I feel like Kenny Atkinson having to figure out how you can make the duo that they said couldn't work, how you can make the duo of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, who they said is the two smallest backcourts in the league, how did they would be able to defend. Being able to get guys like Evan Mobley to rise his game on the defensive end, Jared Allen to rise his game on the defensive end. But like I said, most importantly, not knowing that Ty Jerome was going to be out the league to come in to possibly being one of the best bench players in the league with the roster that they have. They don't really have too many standout guys like a Chet Holmgren, like a J-Dub, like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I could probably argue with you that all three of those players compared to Oklahoma City Big Three, it's not even close. So for him to have to figure that out with a bunch of role players that wouldn't possibly be in the league and have possibly the best record in the league, possibly, the best offense in the league too, and also a great defense without household names. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell could be a household name, but that's here or there. Nowhere near Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I can definitely tell you that. So the fact that he's not having to, that he can't rely on that, and for them to still be good, tells me a lot.
3 minutes. Let's go.
The Thunder have a +7 net rating with Shai off the floor. The Thunder have an elite defense with any sort of personnel you want to put out there. The Thunder have now turned into an elite offense with any sort of personnel you want to put out there. Early on in the season, Alex Caruso wasn't shooting the three well. So you know what Mark Daigneault decided to do? Instead of just having him hang out on the three-point line and hope he figures it out, he started putting him in the middle of zone. He started playing him along the baseline. He said, you know what? You're not shooting the ball well. While you get into a rhythm, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of just having you out there to suffer, no, we're going to make you viable on offense until you can catch a rhythm, get a few layups around the rim, play in transition, and we're going to make your life easier that way. That's coaching. That's the best coach in the NBA. And I know you agree with me that he's the best coach in the NBA, but you're trying to make the case for Kenny Atkinson. So I respect it. But you know everything I'm saying. You're like, yeah, this Mark Daigneault guy's pretty good.
That's a very good adjustment. I can make the same argument about Kenny Atkinson doing that with guys like that was a valuable part of his rotation, like George Niang and Karis LeVert.
Yeah, but he's cut Isaac Okoro practically out the rotation, playing him way less minutes.
Hell of an adjustment though, because then who you got? Hell of
an
adjustment.
defender because he can't make him work offensively. He's just
but I don't have to waste time when I got DeAndre Hunter who's coming in mid-season, who they basically turned his season around. He turned his season around to a way better player. Him doing what he's doing with that lineup. And you agree with me that if you know you don't have nothing to rely on offense consistently every single night or 30 points per game, your defense could look trash too. The fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder offense, and you're right, they're a +7 when Shai is off the floor. Shai ain't off the floor a lot though, so let's bring up that context.
Yeah, 14 minutes a game, 14 minutes.
Yeah, it ain't off the floor a lot. Yeah, that ain't off the floor a lot. But what about
that's also Donovan all-time dominant with him on the floor?
Yeah, what about them being undefeated with Donovan Mitchell being out? So you can still say that Kenny Atkinson is doing a hell of a job with the guys that he got, and the fact that they are role players, the fact that you got guys that you relying on that somebody said was trash. Ty Jerome, come in, step up, do what you do. Dean Wade is playing at a level that I never thought he could play, that nobody thought he was going to be able to play at, but he's able to do that. Dean Wade wasn't that good, wasn't that great. Sam Merrill being
he's made Sam Merrill viable as a team defender. I absolutely agree with that. But 100%. OKC, you're saying all these names and all these guys, but this is OKC development. J-Dub, you didn't think J-Dub was this good. You don't even think J-Dub's that good now offensively.
No, do that. I do think
J-Dub offensively to this day.
Do question him, but I do think he's good.
And this is OKC producing a top 3 offense in the NBA with J-Dub, who you think is questionable. Chet Holmgren, another person who a lot of people think are questionable offensively, and they're still able to.
But I get to work. You get to work with Alex Caruso. I got to work with Sam Merrill, and I still got to be. And that's a valuable role player for me. For you to work with.
Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, the center Jalen Williams, 98
Sam Merrill and Ty Jerome. Kenny Atkinson would love those two guys. Kenny Atkinson would love those two guys.
I just had Roto to
Kenny Atkinson would love those two guys, Mars. You know it. Sam Merrill, Ty Jerome.
Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams. Draymond results with those three.
All right, fellas.
I'm gonna say Moss won this. He really got me with all of the players that was out of the lineup and still being able to maintain the defense at number one. He also put emphasis on the fact that, you know what I'm saying, these are development players. Like, you didn't know they were going to be that good, and that's part of the reason why, you know what I mean, that's good coaching, and they got a culture of that, you know, making guys stars, whether it be KD, he was the second pick though, but Westbrook, Harden, and just a lot of talent, a bevy of talent that was there, and I know how important coaching is myself, and I'm gonna tell you where Jordan could have won this, but he didn't win. He didn't mention, and neither did Mars, but it was smart for Mars not to mention it, but for him to mention it. Jordan didn't say, well, when they played they first 2 games, it was offense that won the game. It wasn't defense. When I looked at the score, because I went to look, and these are offensive games. You know what I'm saying? When you look at how they won, what was it? It was the score was 129, 122, and 134. Thunder won 134 to 114. And then Cleveland won 129, 122. So, Jordan could have made the point that defense didn't win that game, offense won that game. You know what I'm saying? And he did. So if there's things that it was close, and if there's things that Jordan said to win it that he could have said, but he didn't. He just didn't get around to it, and I think that's because he was agreeing with Mars too much, giving him too much credit. Take away credit from your debater. You don't give him credit. And I just think he got caught up in that shit. So I gave the round to Mars. Right now I got it 1-up going into the next round.
All right. I went with Jordan. I was thinking Mars at first too, but I went with Jordan because when he pointed out the players, you know what I'm saying? Like the role players compared to OKC players and how it worked, and when I forget he said Darius Garland, or when Donovan Mitchell was off the floor, to how it maintained the same. Oh, they lost. They still won games. You know what I'm saying? They ain't lose when one of them players was out. That compared to OKC's team to Cavs and the way he explained it, I went with Jordan because I think you know what I'm saying, that to go
Yeah.
without you ain't got too many star players on that team like that, and you lose one, it's like, you know what I'm saying, you still maintain it. So I went with Jordan.
All right, cool. We can't really call it now. So it's even between us. And I'm just trying to get to the next round so I could close down in 2 hours. Ice, I was mad as hell I couldn't clip up that last show,
Last one.
bro.
Yeah. I ain't
Word. So
mad as
I'll
hell.
clip
That
this
was
one up,
great.
and I'll continue to, you know what I mean, be consistent clipping up the content because it's really good content. All right, so let me try to do this now. We at a 1:46. Let's get it.
That is the time. That was a hell of a second topic. Now we're going to get into the third topic. Let's make it happen. Jordan, it will be back on you to kick things off. What you got for us, Cheerio? This is the topic that everybody's been asking for. This is what they've been waiting for. So y'all go ahead and like the video and let's make it happen. We have the 2015 Oklahoma City Thunder versus the current 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder. And the question is, which team wins in a 7-game series? Jordan, it's on you.
So when you think about this 2015 team versus this 2025 team, I think you automatically got to point out how great Westbrook and Durant were together. And then with this current team, you think of a hell of a season by Shea and how great this Thunder defense is. But when I put them together against each other, the Thunder having one of the best defenses in history don't necessarily move me against this 2015 team, because by numbers, it says this current Thunder team has the best defense, but context tells the whole story. It's a different league. The pace is faster, three-point attempts are up, and transition is up by a long mile. Putting the 2015 Thunder in this era with the talent that they had and how they played off each other would be a problem. KD and Russ both finished in the top 7 in transition that year. That was one of Russ' prime years and one of the most explosive guards in the NBA at the time. But the one thing that moved me about this 15 team was how well they moved the basketball and the actions that they ran. You think that with the talent that they and speed Russ had, that they would play a lot of ISO with him and KD, but in reality, they didn't. Russ finished in the 36th percentile that year in isolation, and so they prioritized cutting and playing out of closeouts that year. They had a double big lineup that was part of their success with Steven Adams and Serge Ibaka. So KD, Russ, Ibaka, Adams, and Roberson. In the that year in the league, they led the league in points per game and assists per game in their lineup. So that tells me you can't play anybody off the floor. But unlike now, coaches played to their strengths and did not concede to their weaknesses. They put Roberson in spots which made it very difficult just for you to leave him, because you know before you know it, you saw lobs at the rim, you saw shooters wide open because they use movement to neutralize their weaknesses. And of course, you can look at the great defensive teams when you're facing. Of course, you can look.
Gotta mute you, Jordan. Your minute 30's up. It's on you, Mars. Talk to us.
I'm going to assume the question is the 15-16 Thunder, not the year.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm just making that clear for everyone who's wondering. Okay, the 25 Thunder win this series. I've already spoke about Mark Daigneault coaching last round, but I'm going to bring that up again in this round. Mark Daigneault is the better coach than Billy Donovan. All the adjustments he's made throughout the season, all the adjustments he's shown he can make, he can adjust to whatever OKC are throwing at him. But the Oklahoma City Thunder this year have a top 10 defense relative in NBA history. The Oklahoma City Thunder in 2016, their weakness was the fact that teams could shrink the floor on them. Now, did they have counters to that in terms of having Roberson roam around the baseline? Similar to what I said about Caruso. Maybe Mark Daigneault stole it from Billy Donovan. Who knows? But when we talk about weakness as outside shooters, Serge Ibaka was not being respected as a shooter. Steven Adams had to play in the dunker spot. Andre Roberson, we know who's guarding him. That's Chet Holmgren. He's plugging up all lanes. Chet Holmgren is going to be standing right there, ignoring him. That's what's going to be happening. And when we talk about KD and Russ, what Oklahoma City do better than anyone, the current OKC do, is force turnovers. What does Russell Westbrook do? Turn the ball over. So when we're talking about the best team at forcing turnovers against a point guard who's prone to get sped up, prone to turn the ball over with some of the best hands in NBA history who he has to navigate, that's advantage 2025 OKC. When we talk about Kevin Durant, what's his weakness as people guarding him? It's these small, stocky defenders who can get up in his airspace. Is that Lou Dort? Is that Alex Caruso with J-Dub at the nail, with Shea at the nail, with Chet Holmgren backline rim protection? We're not saying we're going to shut down KD. We know who KD is. But when we're talking about the best personnel to make up for what KD lacks and what KD struggles with, along with what 2016 OKC struggle with, it's no contest. We match up with them perfectly defensively. We have the personnel offensively that I'm going to bring up next round. This is a real no contest.
On you, Jordan.
It's funny that you said that it's a real no contest, but when you talk about, like I said, the great coaching that Billy Donovan did, number one, you can try to put Chet. You can try to put Chet on Andre Roberson. I don't think that worked. If you go back and watch their team, they did a lot of actions where they would move Andre Roberson and move Kevin Durant at the same time. So as a coach, when I connected the X's and O's, when I do that, you have to respect him moving, or he would stop right there in a dunker spot and get an easy layup. And if you don't move, KD's coming around on a curl where he played a lot in the mid-range, getting wide open jumpers. You not loading up on nothing the way that Thunder team played, because they didn't sit at the top of the key and play isolation like they do now. They didn't do that. They had Westbrook getting downhill. They had Steven Adams going in a pick and roll where Westbrook was great that year with the pocket pass. He was second in the year in assists. He averaged 10 assists a game. So you can't load up on nothing because you're seeing movement. You don't really, it's hard for you to rationalize that because in this NBA, they don't move a lot like how they did back then. KD is not finna waste his time with Lou Dort getting up under his chest. Why would I do that? Russell Westbrook posted up smaller guards as well too. And Serge Ibaka, they definitely respected him. They definitely respected Serge Ibaka as a shooter. You couldn't just leave Serge Ibaka wide open. No, that wasn't it. And Serge Ibaka on the defensive end, Steven Adams on the defensive end. That double big lineup would give Oklahoma City some trouble. We saw Dallas double big lineup give Oklahoma City trouble last year. So you mean to tell me Steven Adams, a young one, and Serge Ibaka not gonna give him trouble? Good luck.
So on you, Mars.
Well, that comes to the flexibility of the fact that we can go Chet and Hartenstein, and you have Ennis Freedom coming off the bench, who we know Shea's frying in isolation. So when I talk about Oklahoma City, this team, you talk about you can't shrink the floor on them because they have the movement, but I watched the 2016 Warriors do that with Draymond playing the backline. And I'm not saying this 2025 Thunder team is as good as 2016 Warriors, but what I am saying is the defensive personnel they have can definitely implement something similar in terms of shrinking the floor, having Chet roam the middle, and we don't worry about Andre Roberson on the backside because Chet Holmgren has the size and the length to deter those lobs over the top, which is what Golden State took away in 2016. And when we talk about Serge Ibaka, could he shoot? Yes, but is he someone who's drawing hard closeouts? No. Are we going to play boxes and elbows on Kevin Durant? Yes. Are we going to force Russell Westbrook to make decisions in a crowd? Yes. Do we know that Russell Westbrook's turnover prone? Yes. And when we look at OKC, this current OKC on offense, we have people we can attack in space. That's Steven Adams. We have Serge Ibaka we can take away from the rim. Not because we can attack him in space, because we know how dangerous of a rim protector he is. We can remove him away from the rim, whether we go small ball with J-Dub at the 5, where we might compromise some rebounding, or we go Chat at the 5, draw Steven Adams away from the rim, have 5 out spacing, and we can have Shea, the best driver in the league, getting downhill whenever he wants, kick outs to a team that's number 1 in 3-point percentage since January 1st. There's no counters that you can throw at this OKC team that they haven't seen before. I already told you in the last round that they've become the best team in the league at beating zone. They're number 1 in the league in 3-point percentage since January 1st. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the perfect perimeter scorers in the NBA that we've ever seen. What is the case that you can give me that OKC in 2016 beat this Thunder team? All you've done is tell me how they can counter their weaknesses that they already have. Tell me what weaknesses I have.
3 minutes.
Number one, I'm glad you brought up Enes Freedom, because Enes Freedom or Enes Kanter that year was a hell of a bench player that year, coming off the bench and provided instant scoring. Once again, they played with those double big lineups. They can do it coming off the bench. You had Nick Collison as well too. You also, I didn't bring up a guard like Deion Waiters, another guard that can play make, another guard that can score for itself. I didn't bring up those guys. All I'm saying is on offense, your weakness. I'm gonna tell you what your weakness is. You brought it up last round. I'm gonna bring it up now. J-Dub. J-Dub is not going to give me exactly what Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant had. Like somebody said on the panel, Shea is a one-man army. That's cool. We know what Shea gonna bring. I got pretty much Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Enes Kanter, who was definitely scoring at an elite level coming off the bench, that I know what I can do. I can maximize your, and also don't forget, that Thunder team was a good defensive team too. They had the #1 offensive rating, and they was pretty much like, I think they was like middle of the line, a little bit better than average on the defensive rating that year too. So I can throw different type of actions at say Gilgeous-Alexander.
That offense got neutralized because of the spacing I'm talking about, and bringing up guys like Enes Kanter and not admitting instantly that he needs to become unplayable is a disservice to you. We know where
I don't think he becomes unplayable. He didn't become unplayable in no series.
You know where his minutes went down in the postseason routinely because of that reason. He couldn't guard. Saying Enes Freedom, Enes Kanter was a viable offensive option is cool, but his defensive deficiencies made him unplayable. Enes Freedom was not someone you could continually go to. Look at his minutes throughout that Golden State series. The last 4 games of that series: 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes. You know why? Because he couldn't play in the series.
But they have a difference with Klay Thompson. When we have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, y'all don't have that.
When we're running our slip screens with Chet and Enes Freedom is caught in no man's land, who's he guarding? He can't stay in front of anyone. When we have,
I can stay in front of Isaiah Joe. I don't really care. I'm okay.
So when we're running pin downs for Isaiah Joe, Enes Freedom's doing what? What's he doing?
I can stay in front of Isaiah Joe. What do you mean?
Oh, so Enes Freedom's navigating screens now.
He don't have to navigate the screen. We can switch it. We can switch it.
Okay, so now you switch it. So then we're going to dive to the rim. Okay, see, counter switches by slipping all the time.
You can try to dive to the rim. I got Steven Adams as well back there. Okay. I got Serge Ibaka back there. I got a hell of a defender back there.
That means you're already rotating. We've got corner shooters. I already told you we're the #1 3-point shooter since January 1st. So
yeah, that's cool.
Give up the open 3 to someone who is.
No, that's not my plan to give up. That's not my plan to give up the open 3. But my plan is to neutralize Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and try to make J-Dub beat us. That's my plan.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you're the genius coach you can figure out neutralize Shai.
Because no team has prime Kevin Durant and prime Russell Westbrook with Serge Ibaka and
that doesn't neutralize Shai.
Yeah, it does neutralize him because.
What's your plan to neutralize Shai?
My plan to neutralize Shai, I can throw multiple defenders at him. I can throw Andre Roberson at him. I can throw Kevin Durant at him. I can throw Russell Westbrook at him. He wasn't unplayable against the Warriors. So if he wasn't unplayable against he wasn't. If he wasn't unplayable against the Warriors, no, he was not.
A big reason why they lost that series because Draymond Green ignored Roberson for the last 3 games, and it led to
Roberson shot like 40% from 3. Yeah, he shot 40% from 3 that series.
You're a coach. You know 40% from 3. If no one's guarding you means nothing.
Yes, it does. If I'm making if I'm making my threes, 40% is.
If you make, he made them 3 threes a game. If you shoot 3 threes a game at 40%, that's 3 points per game.
But hold on. Let's go back. You said that he was unplayable. That's not true. He was not unplayable because
hurting the offense.
No, he was not.
30 more seconds on the clock.
How can you say he was unplayable when he played? The way that they used him was totally different.
Kanter wasn't unplayable when he didn't play.
I didn't say he wouldn't. I didn't make that argument. I said that he wouldn't be unplayable. I said he wouldn't be unplayable against the Thunder. He wouldn't be unplayable. The Warriors is different. You got Steph, Clay. You got. Yeah, but y'all don't have Steph and Clay. I like you saying dangerous shooters. Y'all not as dangerous as Steph and Clay.
No, we have the #1 3-point.
I can get what I'm gonna get from Freedom on offense. I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get from Enes on offense.
All right, fellas. All right, that is time. That is.
All right, 30 more seconds, please.
Yeah, I gotta make it real quick, because I definitely want to clip this up. Jay, I know you. Jay just got here, but y'all can subscribe to Jay. This is JTV. Y'all can subscribe to Iceman at the Tip Off of Brooklyn Nets podcast. Hopefully, y'all already subscribed to me. If y'all not subscribed, subscribe also to Players Choice dope content. I got Mars winning this. I like his argument better. No soliloquy because I'm trying to save this. Who you guys?
Mars.
Okay. Jay, did you catch any of this?
Not really. I've seen a little bit.
All right. If y'all really trying to go live, I'll probably go live again. I'm a little tired. I might go to sleep or
All
something.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back for the recap tomorrow, probably like around 8, 9. I'm trying to do it before 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying, recap the game right after it go off. It starts at 1 p.m. But I'm tapped in, man. I'm probably be following you guys, seeing what y'all guys got going on. And again, man, this was a good show, man. Nets fans is the best fans. Again, I'm wrapping this up for 2 hours now because I want to post the clips, and I can only clip it up with AI if I do it in a 2 hour time span. So yeah, we going to tighten it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all, man. Nets fans is the best fans. Shout out to Ice and Jay for pulling up on the panel. Shout out to LM. Shout out to Leaf. Shout out to Peoples. Shout out to the entire chat. Again, Nets fans is the best fans. I'll see y'all on the recap tomorrow. Peace.
All right, bet.